Patent Number by Gerald Atkins. Narrated by Chris Harvey. Somewhere, deep within the subsistent dimensions of animal space, lived Eddie Richardson. He was surrounded by countless millions of his own species, and yet he was terribly alone. So alone, in fact, that he had not spoken to a single individual for the past 3 years, ever since the accident that had robbed him of his identity, his personality, and most of his physical being. Eddie Richardson was human, yes, but he was also a monster created by science. The doctors had saved his life. They had given him legs of aluminium, hands moulded in green plastic, a body riddled with electronic circuits, resistors, capacitors, transistors. They had given him life. His scarred face had been restored beneath countless layers of skin grafts. His mind was constantly alert as he tried in desperation to control his cumbersome form. He was human, and yet he was only a machine, a living, breathing, eating, sleeping machine. He could not run, dance, smoke, or drink. He was incapable of clear speech. He could never again know the feeling of physical love or the joy of spiritual love. Every month he had to return to the hospital so they could stare into his plastic stomach, prod his transplanted heart, and plug him into a computer to see that he was working correctly. They would oil his joints and polish his bodywork. He was human. They told him that as they soldered on some replacement transistors. They told him how much better he was looking as they pushed even more alkathene tubing into his tortured respiratory system. They told him how very lucky he was to be able to live. Live? Was this living? Or was it merely a latent death? He was human, and yet he was not. He was a bloody machine, and not a very good one at that. "Are you Frankenstein's monster?" had asked a little girl at the clinic. He had not answered verbally. He just nodded his hinged cranium and forced a weak smile across his synthetic lips. 3 days ago, Eddie Richardson died. No one knew why he had died. Electrical failure? A blown fuse? It really didn't matter. He had donated his few remaining organs for medical research, and the rest of him was buried in Windmarsh Cemetery. On the tombstone was ironically written, "Here lies Edward James Richardson. Rust in peace." Patent Number was written by Gerald Atkins and narrated, edited, and post-produced by Chris Harvey.